Being chosen by God does not mean a life without struggle. It does not mean fame, wealth, or comfort. In fact, those chosen often walk the hardest roads. God does not choose people because they are perfect. He chooses them because they are willing. Throughout history, God chose Moses the stutterer, David the shepherd, Esther the orphan, and Peter the fisherman. None of them felt qualified. Yet God qualified them through purpose. If you are listening to this today and feel different, misunderstood, or constantly tested, this message is for you. God places His mark not on the loudest, but on the faithful. Not on the proud, but on the humble. Not on the comfortable, but on the obedient. Being chosen does not mean you are better than others. It means you are set apart for service, responsibility, and impact. God trusts you with more because He knows what He placed inside you. So how do you know? If you see these signs in your life, you may be chosen by God. You face unusual trials and pressure. If you are chosen by God, your life will often feel heavier than others. You may face trials that seem unfair, repeated, or far more intense than what those around you experience. These challenges are not random, and they are not a sign that God has abandoned you. Instead, they are evidence that God is shaping you for something greater. Just as gold must pass through fire to be purified, chosen individuals are refined through pressure, so that their faith, character, and endurance can be strengthened. The pressure you carry is not meant to crush you, but to develop spiritual strength and authority. God allows the weight because He trusts what He has placed inside you. Every trial teaches you obedience, humility, and dependence on Him. What others see as suffering, God sees as preparation. When the season of testing is complete, you will realize that the very battles you survived were the training ground for the purpose you were born to fulfill. You feel different, even when you don't try. From a very early stage in life, you may have sensed that you are not like everyone else. Even when you tried to blend in, something within you resisted conformity. Your thoughts, values, and reactions often stood apart, not because you wanted attention, but because your spirit could not fully align with what everyone else accepted as normal. This sense of difference can be confusing and at times lonely, but it is often the first quiet sign of being set apart by God. Chosen people carry an inner compass that points toward righteousness, purpose, and truth. While others may feel comfortable in certain environments or behaviors, you may feel uneasy without fully understanding why. This is not judgment or pride. It is spiritual sensitivity. God places His standard inside you before you ever learn to recognize it. Your discomfort is not weakness. It is discernment at work. Because of this difference, you may have experienced seasons of isolation. Friendships may fade, groups may shift, and doors may close without clear explanation. This separation is painful, but it is intentional. God often removes chosen individuals from the crowd so they can hear His voice clearly. Solitude becomes a classroom where character is shaped, faith is deepened, and identity is secured in Him rather than in people. Over time, you begin to understand that your difference is not a flaw, it is a calling. God never intended you to fit in. He intended you to stand out for His purpose. What once made you feel misunderstood becomes the very thing God uses to influence, lead, and inspire others. When you accept this truth, you stop trying to belong everywhere and start walking confidently in who God created you to be. You have a strong sense of conviction. If you are chosen by God, your heart is often sensitive to right and wrong in a way that feels deeper than ordinary awareness. You may feel uneasy when something is morally questionable, even if everyone around you sees no problem with it. This inner alarm is not fear or weakness, it is the voice of conviction. God places this sensitivity within chosen people to guide them, protect them, and keep them aligned with His will. Conviction often shows up before consequences do, while others may act freely. Without concern, you may feel restrained, corrected, or unsettled in your spirit. This can be frustrating, especially when obedience costs you opportunities, relationships, or approval. However, God values obedience more than comfort. What feels like restriction is actually divine protection, steering you away from paths that would delay or damage your calling. Because of this strong conviction, you may struggle internally more than others. You reflect deeply, repent quickly, and feel remorse sincerely. This does not mean you are weaker, it means your heart is teachable. God can work powerfully through those who are quick to listen, quick to correct themselves, and humble enough to change when He speaks. Over time, you will realize that conviction is a sign of trust. God corrects those He intends to use. He sharpens the conscience of chosen people because they are meant to lead with integrity, not popularity. Your sensitivity to truth becomes a foundation for wisdom, authority, and spiritual influence. Evidence that God is shaping you for a higher purpose. You are drawn to purpose, not just pleasure. Deep within you is a hunger that entertainment, success, or material comfort can never fully satisfy. While others may find fulfillment in temporary pleasures, you sense that there must be more to life. Your soul longs for meaning, direction, and impact. This inner dissatisfaction is not negativity. It is a divine signal that you are created for something beyond momentary enjoyment. You may enjoy life's blessings, but you are never content to live only for them. After the excitement fades, your heart begins to ask deeper questions. Why am I here? What am I meant to do? How can my life matter? Chosen people are wired this way because God plants purpose before pleasure in their spirits. You are not wired to settle. You are wired to fulfill an assignment, often this longi. NG sets you apart from those around you. While others chase trends, status, or comfort, you find yourself drawn to growth, service, and truth. You may walk away from opportunities that look attractive on the surface but feel empty inside. This discernment is evidence of a higher calling. God is teaching you to value eternal impact over temporary satisfaction. At times, this pursuit of purpose can feel exhausting or lonely. When you choose meaning over ease, the road becomes narrower. You may feel misunderstood for refusing to compromise or slow down. Yet God uses these moments to strengthen your resolve, reminding you that your life is not meant to be wasted on distractions that steal time from destiny. This desire for purpose also draws you toward helping others. You feel fulfilled when you lift someone, guide someone, or inspire change. Service energizes you more than applause. This is because chosen people are designed to pour out, not just consume. God aligns your joy with obedience so that fulfilling His will becomes your greatest reward. In time, you realize that your dissatisfaction with shallow living was actually God calling you higher. He placed eternity in your heart, so you would not remain comfortable where you do not belong. Your hunger for purpose is proof that your life is meant to count, not just for today, but for generations to come. If you see these signs, don't run from the calling, rise into it. Being chosen is not about comfort, it's about obedience. Not about status, it's about service. God doesn't choose the prepared, He prepares the chosen. And if you're still here, still believing, still hoping, He's not finished with you.